Hi everyone, welcome to VK Talks. And today we have an interesting topic. This is a topic which is of interest to most of the people, and this is about money. So today we are talking about financial planning. Well, most of us understand the importance of money, which is needed in fulfilling various important goals in our life, be it children's education, be it buying a house, buying a car, investing in a property, children's wedding, or any other major event in life. You need money for all of that. And all of us understand the importance of it. There is no denial about it. While most of us are busy in chasing money, very few of us understand the importance of financial planning and the relevance of financial planning in fulfilling these important goals in our life. And that is why today we have chosen the topic of financial planning. And today we have someone who is a chartered accountant and who worked with World Health Organization and headed the operations of an NGO in Jharkhand and West Bengal, and someone who is really passionate about helping people and help them achieve their financial goals. He's currently working as a director in a financial advisory firm and leading a team of 80 plus people. He calls himself as a financial doctor. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Tarak Nath Shah. Tarak, welcome to VK Talks. How are you doing?
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you for those wonderful words about me. And well, I'm a simple man, but at the outset, I would thank you for having me on your show. And thank you for those wonderful words once again. Thank you very much.
Great, great. Tarak, it's really wonderful to have you on VK Talks, and it's really an opportunity for us and for all the audience to learn about financial planning from an expert like you. Okay. So without much ado, Tarak, let's get straight into the discussion. Many of us do not really understand, financial planning. So can you explain what exactly is personal financial planning? What is the importance of it and the relevance of it in fulfilling the important goals in our life?
Okay. See, let me put it very simply. A lot of times, personal finance and personal financial planning are used as synonyms, but they are not the same. Okay. Let me differentiate between the two. Personal financial planning is a subset of personal finance.
Right.
Personal finance is much beyond financial planning. So let me first explain what is personal finance so that you can understand the entire umbrella under which personal planning is there. So personal finance is, put it in very simple words, anything in our life which involves money is personal finance. Okay. How you manage your money, how you manage your income, how you manage all your financial resources, your income, your expenses, your debts, your uh, investments, your savings. These are totally relates to your personal finance. Personal planning, financial planning means how you set your goals in life. What are financial goals in life? Now, what are those financial goals? You just said we are all worried about life that how to achieve children's wedding, children's higher education, our retirement. I mean, how do we manage those? I mean, how do we achieve? Because we all have dreams and goals in life that we would be doing such things. So once we have to start those things when we plan. Okay, we set a target, we just set a goal, and then we start working towards that goal. So that is what exactly financial planning is. Okay.
Right.
So you set a goal. Let's say at 18 to 20 years, my child would need this X amount of money for a higher education. Let's say for engineering college or for a doctor's education, or he or she would be going abroad for studies. So I need this amount of money. So from that point of time, getting that money would be a problem. So why don't I start from today? Okay. Then retirement, you say, I need such corpus. I don't want to be dependent on somebody. So I want to save from right now. I want to achieve that goal. So that is financial planning. But personal finance is how you manage your resources
Right.
is personal finance.
Got
Okay.
it. Got it. So you're saying personal finance is the bigger umbrella under which financial planning is one of the aspect under personal finance.
Right.
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 Got it. So Tarak, if I'm someone who doesn't have any idea on financial planning, right? I have no idea. And if I want to get started on financial planning, what is the most important aspect that I need to understand, before I start working towards financial planning?
Very interesting. I mean, Vijay, you have hit the nail actually.
Mhm.
There are three important steps and very simple for any common man. Any common man, there are three steps. And first one is mindset. First one is mindset because you need to believe that it is possible.
Right.
Okay. If you don't believe it's possible, you will give on, you will be stuck.
Hmm.
In our school, in our colleges, because we are always taught about uh, don't spend beyond your income. Don't think big. Think whatever within your limits. And that's how what happened. We have limiting beliefs. And then when we go out in the world, in our job or in our self-employed, whatever we are doing, and we see someone succeeding who is more successful than us, we always have those evil feelings that he's greedy, he is this, is that, he's selfish. I won't be able to achieve it. I have so all those things has to be moved away from your mind. The mindset is the first. You should
Right.
have come out of your lack of self-esteem in a positive mindset. Okay, so that is the first part. Okay, second is your income, and third is your expenses.
Right.
Okay, so three aspects. If you take care of those three, now I dealt with the first one. Now let me deal with the second and third because that has to be dealt together. Now
Hmm.
to design your life, what you have to do is manage those income and expenses. So income minus expenditure, there's a formula for that, which is I have designed. I said this is a formula for success. Okay. So income minus expenses is equal to savings plus investments.
Right.
Right. Now, your left side, which is the income minus expenses, has to be worked upon so that your savings plus investment goes up.
Hmm.
And that will help you to achieve your financial goals or financial planning, whatever you call it. Right.
Mhm.
So how do you do that? Either you increase your income or
Right.
you decrease your expenses or you do both.
Right.
Right. So to increase your income, you'll have to have the right mindset. And so you have to strive for that.
Right.
Right. And which will again, and to decrease your income, again, you have to work on to decrease your expenses, you have to again work on that. You have to trim your expenses. You have to see where you can reduce your expenses, where you can be rational and all that. I'm not saying you have to force yourself into money suffering or you don't want to do away with your desires and all that. So you have to give a relook actually. Okay. Maybe you can't, if you can't reduce your expenses, fine. You increase your income, right? So that will help you to save and invest. Now, there's a big difference between save and investment, right?
Hmm.
People don't understand that because people believe that saving and investment is one and the same thing. Okay.
Tarak, I
Now,
just
save,
want to intervene you here. When you spoke
yeah,
about savings and investments, and in fact, my understanding is also, in fact, this was a doubt that was arising in my mind. Like you said, income minus expenses is equal to savings plus investments.
right.
Aren't savings and investments same? My
No,
understanding is that savings and investments, I mean, they sort of go with each other. Even what is the difference between savings and investments?
Vijay is not only about you. There are so many people out there who believe that savings and investment are the same thing, which is not.
Mm-hmm.
Totally, they are poles apart. Okay. Now, savings have a different purpose. Investments have a different purpose. Now, let me to put it in a very simple word for any common man. I'll not talk any technical things today on VK Talks. It will
Mm-hmm.
be very simple. Okay. Savings is accumulation of money.
Right. Okay.
Savings is accumulation of money. You keep on accumulating money by your own effort. Let's say you're doing a job or you are doing something. You have an increment minus expenses. You have a surplus, and you put it aside. Put it aside. Okay.
Right.
But investments is something you're putting that savings into into any on a vehicle where that money works at money for you.
Hmm.
Money earns money for you,
Okay.
right? So saving will not earn money for you. Let's say you are just your surplus you're putting into the Almira. Let's say you are saving 5,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees every month, and you are putting into the Almira.
Hmm.
So it is accumulating, right? You're not applying it.
Right.
somewhere. You are not putting it into any instrument, let's say mutual funds, stock market, and we will talk about vehicles, investment vehicles later on, or it's a real estate, properties, whatever. So it will not increase. I'll give you a simple example for that. Let's say you have put your saving surplus into the Almira, half of the amount, and half the amount you bought a gold.
Mm.
Very common man thinks that gold, we should buy gold for appreciation of money.
Right.
After 10 years, what happens? After 10 years, what happens?
Mm.
The 5,000 rupees which you spent, which saved in your Almira remains the same. In fact, the value of that 5,000 has come down because of inflation.
Right. Right. That's right.
And the gold has appreciated. So
Mm.
what was the gold? Gold was investment. And that 5,000 which you kept in your Almira was savings,
Right. Okay.
right? So that is saving. And this is the first thing you need to understand, that accumulation of money is savings, and putting that money to work to earn money for you is investments,
Got
right?
it.
Now,
Got it.
then that is the basic difference. Now, coming to the purpose, why we have, where is the difference? Now you will realize how the differences are. Okay, how we get it? Let's get into deep into it. Now, savings, the purpose of savings is very short term.
Mm.
Okay, let's say you have a job loss. You have, let's say, you're in a situation where you're not able to earn.
Mm.
It could be a medical situation. It could be natural calamity. It could be anything. Let's say we have a pandemic, so you're not able to earn. How
Right.
did you manage? People who, and let me tell you one thing, 92%, I was just reading an article a couple of days back, 92% of India do not have emergency savings because they just put their money into investments.
Mm.
The
Mm.
first primary importance of personal finance is that you have to have emergency savings.
Okay, Tarak, I
Okay.
just want to intervene you here. Emergency savings, and this is something that I have been hearing from the financial advisors recently. And I guess probably the people in previous generation probably had their own ways of managing emergency, requirements, like probably borrowing money from people around them, probably borrowing money from relatives, friends, or going for loans, at that point in time, things like that. And people have struggled, to deal with emergencies, right? So, what is this emergency fund all about, and how do you work towards it?
Right. So that is where I was coming to. So emergency fund is something, you keep your, and first part, that is the first point from to start in any financial planning, or let's say in personal finance. First thing you have to do is, from the day you start earning, you create a corpus for your emergency fund. That is depending on your nature of work, okay? Or let's say the corpus, your lifestyle, your family commitments, okay? You need to have 3 to 6 months of savings set aside. 3 to 6 months, if you're not able to work, or there's a job loss, or there is something, or your somewhere there's a shortfall of cash in any money in any form, you can always pull out the money from there and
Mm.
invest it and use it for your own purpose. Not invest, sorry, I'm sorry. So you can pull out the money from there and meet the shortfall. So that is emergency fund. Now, 3 to 6 months is the universal formula,
Mm.
but there are certain there are certain people who are in a unique type of a work, unique job. For
Mm.
finding, and those opportunities are very few out there in the market. For
Mm.
them, I strictly recommend it is 12 months.
Right.
If
Right.
you don't have emergency fund, what happens if you don't have emergency fund? I mean, as you said, we used to rely on our friends, on our relatives. Now, I believe that those days are gone. Times have changed.
Right. Yeah.
I also, I remember 20 years, 30 years back when we used to have holidays or summer vacations, we used to go to relatives' place and all that. And they used to be also very happy. Some relatives coming to our place, we used to be very happy. But now, when we go to relatives' place, they don't have time to give us to us because they are busy in their own work. They have their own commitments. And similarly, it happens with us also. I mean, with me also it happens. I
Right.
don't have spare time to give it to them. I have my own office commitments. I have my clients' commitments and all that. It's not that we don't want to give them, we don't want to help them, or they don't want to help us.
Right. Right.
No, and because it's they always want to help us, and we also want to help them because we have our own financial commitments and we have our own financial limitations.
Right. Right.
Okay, so those days are gone. So emergency fund is a must. Okay, so from there you start. And if you don't have emergency fund, the result is what? You get into debt.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So once you get into debt, you are into the debt trap. Now what will happen? You have to repay your debt. Then you again have to compromise on your lifestyle. Your
Yeah.
family has to compromise on your lifestyle because you will pull out your money from your income to
Yeah.
repay the debt.
Right.
So the first step is emergency fund. Now, as you said, difference between investment and savings. I'll come back to that again now. So I think I'm clear about emergency fund, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's clear.
So
Yeah. So
that's clear.
just to I think from what you said, when you talk about the debt trap, I think these days people talk about this credit card trap, right? Like, okay, where
Credit trap.
people
Okay.
try to pay for the emergency requirements using credit card, and then to pay back the credit on the credit card, use another credit card, and they keep getting into credit traps. Something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is what happens, So if he or she, whoever the person is, if they had an emergency fund, they could have emergency used that money for that purpose. But I'm not saying that, as I said, 12 months, 6 months, but that is unique. That will depend upon the situation,
Yeah.
kind of emergency it is.
And
But
that's
I
very
think
interesting,
reasonably,
Karan. That's very interesting what you said, because different people, depending on the phase of life that they are into, the income levels that they have, could have different thresholds of emergency funds, right? For
right.
for
But
someone who is starting, probably whose income levels are low, maybe 3 to 6 months could be sufficient, and where the opportunities for them to find another job could be easy. And for some people,
right,
their opportunities are limited, and maybe they have a higher income, and for them they need to have a probably longer range of the duration for them to manage their emergency funds, right?
right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, the second I said, emergency, I mean, the savings are for, let's get back to savings and investment. Savings are for a short-term requirement. Investments are for long-term requirement, right? Now, short-term, I said, meeting emergency. Second is, if you want to buy petty small things like, say, you want to change your television set, you want to buy a motorcycle, you want to buy a car, okay, maybe 2, 3 years horizon, short duration. But for investments, you have to plan. It's a longer duration, like your child's marriage, child's education, retirement, building a second house.
Mm,
Okay, so
mm,
this is for longer duration. You keep money aside for those people, for those purposes, and savings for this purpose. Third, which is very very important, savings has to be in such a. I mean, nobody likes to keep your money in the Almirah. They want to put somewhere where at least some returns come. Okay, savings has to be put in, or let's say invested, not investments, invested or put somewhere where you can convert that money maximum into 72 hours.
mm, mm.
Maximum into 72 hours. Can't be on, because emergency will not give you time.
So you're talking about the liquidity of it, right?
Liquidity. It can be converted into cash,
Mhm.
maximum into 72. It should be liquidated in 30 days. And the best vehicle which I suggest for emergency fund is fixed deposits. Or there is something called liquid funds in mutual funds. So for non-technical people who don't understand mutual, because a lot of people, I mean, there's a this shout out which is going out on the television ads, mutual fund sahi hai, mutual fund sahi hai. But mutual fund hai kya? Nobody knows. And maximum people doesn't know.
Mm,
It is right, but what it is, nobody knows. So that is again, I will go into that.
mm.
And they are all investing, which is fine. I'm okay, because that is, I support investment in mutual funds. But at least they should understand where they are investing. That my point is that. Okay.
Right.
Now coming to, if you invest in for your emergency fund into something which you cannot convert into cash when emergency happen,
Right.
you are again trapped.
Mm.
You are
That's
again trapped. Let's say you put your money into real estate.
right.
Now, when you need the money, you cannot convert your sell out the real estate in 3 days. Is it possible? No. You have put into a stock market, and the stock market is not performing at that point of time.
Mm, mm, mm.
What happens? You'll always you'll be your savings was X amount, it is minus X now, because you, and that is again adding to your emotional stress, because in any kind of emergency you are emotionally stressed.
Right.
And if you don't have cash, if you don't have, you have not financial backing, that adds to your stress. isn't it?
Got it. Got it. Perfect.
So, so purpose and vehicle. So these are the three basic differences and the timeline.
Right.
Sorry for this.
Yeah. So, Tarak, we started with like what are the important requirement for people who want to start financial planning, and we spoke about the mindset, and then we covered what the difference between savings and investments, and how savings will have to be managed, how investments will have to be looked at. Savings is more towards emergency requirements, and investments are more towards your long-term planning of your financial goals, where they become the instruments for earning money. Money starts earning more money, right? So that's towards investments, right? So these are brilliant inputs. Now, if I'm someone who is just starting financial planning, right? I get a certain income by the end of this month, by the end of the month, and now I don't know how to manage my income. How much of it do I allocate towards my expenses, savings? I'm confused. So if I'm such type of person, how do I get started with financial planning?
You know, there is no way out. There's no way out to that. It's budgeting. Now, budgeting is the only way to manage this. No one does that because budgeting is a very, it's a people don't like it, and people not are not
The
used
heavy
to it.
word, I can tell
People
you.
are used, yeah,
Budgeting is
people.
a heavy word.
It's a very heavy word, and people don't like it, and
Right.
people are not used to it.
Mm,
Money comes into your account, and you start using it. Okay,
right.
and it's a boring thing also. So let's admit that. For it was boring for me as well. So,
Right.
but there's a very simple formula for it.
Mm,
Very, very simple formula, which I call it 50-30-20 rule.
right.
Now, whatever X amount you are earning, net of tax, obviously for jobs, people who are in a job, they get net of tax, TDS is deducted. And a person who is self-employed or is a businessman, business, he also knows what is his income, monthly income sort of. And he has to, and then he or she has to plan in that way. 50% of your income should go for your needs.
Mm, mm,
It is needs, okay? Like basic needs is basic roti, kapda or makan. Let's say fooding, clothing, housing, electricity bill, your gas bill, okay, petrol bills, and then children education and all that. And 30% goes for your wants and desires.
mm,
But would you like to go out for dinner and movies and weekends? Okay, so 30% should be allocated to that, and 20% is must for your set aside for your savings plus investment. So savings plus investment, as you said, you started earning from day one. So 20% should go there. Once you achieve your emergency fund is there, and then you start beyond that. Now you start putting their money into investments. Okay. So that is a simple formula. 50, 30, 20.
okay, so 50
But
for your needs, 30 for your wants, and 20 towards your savings and investments.
now, but I want to take it one step forward. Okay. Now,
Mm,
what is that one step forward? People, when the money come, even when you follow this formula, that
mm,
is there in your head. When the money comes, you'll end up spending more.
mm,
You'll go beyond 80%.
right.
Why? Because we do not, since you don't have a budget, you don't keep a track of what you're doing. We know balance is there, chalo, let's spend. Okay. And
Mm,
that is good. That is okay. I don't mind. Okay. We should enjoy your life. We are earning money for enjoying our life.
right.
But, but my point is you should not get into a stress financially. And
Mm,
how do you do that? There's something called a concept called in personal finance, paying yourself first.
right.
Okay. When you let's for your needs or your wants, you are paying somebody, right? So I would say for your hard work, whichever you have done for the entire month, you
Mm,
pay yourself whatever you have got. 20% you set aside.
right.
So what happens? You're left with only 80%. Now within that 80%, you manage your 50 and 30, or you can 10% here and there. Wants sometimes shortage, sometimes surplus it's always good. If you are left with some wants, it adds to your 20%. You can go to 25%.
Right. Right.
Okay. So that is the best. You automate your income in such a way that once your paycheck hits, within 1 or 2 days, the 20% is gone. So you're left with 80. Because psychologically, as I said, mindset.
Hmm.
I said bottom line is mindset. Number one, I said mindset. So you everything is psychology. You see your balance on your phone. What is the bank balance? Accordingly, you plan. So when 20% is not there, you don't plan for that. You plan whatever there is in your account.
Right.
That
Right.
is it.
Right. Tarak, I got this. I got this that you start saving and investing 20% of your income. But my question is, when should I start? You know, some people who are watching this video, maybe some of them are just starting their careers. They have a long duration. They have another 30 plus years in their career. Before they retire. Someone could be in the middle age, between 30 and 40s, and someone could be maybe 40 plus and 50 plus. So what time people should start, like what is the right time to get started with savings and investments?
Now this 50-30-20 formula now is something I can guarantee that any goal you have in life with
Hmm.
mindset and 50-30-20 or a set of goals, okay,
Hmm.
you will 100% achieve that if you start early in your life.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, from day one, you start only from the day one you start. From that day also, you only have to start put following this formula, and then any guarantee. Two things: your mindset and this 20. Now 20, what happens? Let's say you started your day, you started your career with a salary of 50,000. 20% of that was 10,000.
Right.
But
Hmm.
as you go on increasing, it cannot remain. So after 2 years, it became 1 lakh. So 20% of 1 lakh is 20,000. Now 20,000 has to be set aside.
Right.
Okay. So that is, and accordingly, your 20 emergency fund actually has to be adjusted in that way, because once you start your earning, you have to, your lifestyle changes, your expenses, your everything changes. So your emergency fund also has to be set aside. And emergency fund also includes, as I said, 5 to 3 to 6 months. So it not only leads, it's about desires also. So when you are in, let's say, you are not, your desires definitely in an emergency comes down,
Hmm.
but having that corpus also is very important, because needs can be extended and all that. So there are a couple of my clients say that why there are, when your emergency desire is not there. I said no, that's not the exact intention. Intention is that it's always has to have some cushion.
Hmm.
An emergency, you don't know what kind of emergency it is. So 6 months or 3 months, whatever you feel, the nature of work which you are into, you have to have that money. So 20% as your income increases, that 20% has to be increased in proportionate to that. And that will success. Now, let's say you are a mid-career person, or you are in a, let's say, beyond 50. So
Hmm.
unfortunately, you have missed the bus.
Hmm. Right. Yeah, I was
You have
actually
missed the bus.
coming to that. Like, what in case if people they have not started investing when they started their career, and now they're already in their mid 30s, mid 40s, or mid 50s, and now they have to start savings. How should such people work towards their savings and investments?
Yeah. So, and unfortunately, it's a harsh reality that they have missed the bus. And I'm sorry for them.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because if the only way two things to make them financial secure is a good inheritance or a lottery.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
That's only two ways. Otherwise, they will have to get in touch with a good financial advisor who would,
Right.
and they will have to work very hard
Hmm.
on their goals or compromise on some of their goals. Let's be very honest, because it happened, it has happened with me also, because you, this personal finance, in spite of being a chartered accountant, I became aware of this world, personal finance. I was good in corporate finance and all that, in non-profit financing, budgeting and all that. But I never, this is a unique subject. And I thank my partner to bring me in this world, in this personal finance world.
Hmm.
Okay. Whereas I became very active. I came into this sector in 2015, but I was managing the back end, and front ending I started in 2017. So then I realized, and when I started meeting people and started talking with them, I realized what kind of stress and all this happened. Okay. So they have missed the bus, and they have to get in touch with a good financial advisor or educate themselves
Right.
and make compromises on their lifestyle
Hmm.
to achieve their goals. And also they will have to compromise on this. So they have missed the bus. So this 50-30-20. is only for those people who are early in their job, or day one, or very early in their job. But then it's not bad to start at any point of time.
Right.
Something is better than nothing, right? At
Right.
least you'll have something for
Mm.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's perfect. Like, get the reality check and then
Yeah.
start probably taking help from someone who is an expert in this area, a financial advisor, and start working towards your financial goals.
Right.
I look forward to see you on Weekend Talks, and I really hope that you take something value out of these sessions. And I invite you to subscribe to my channel and share this with your near and dear ones whom you really care about so that they can get benefited. Look forward to seeing you.